understand.
Tell him that we ballin'.
I am proud to be a Belizean.
Tell him that we ballin'.
Yo bande, yo bande.
Tell him that we ballin'.
Yo bande, yo bande. I am a true Belizean.
Tell him that we ballin'.
Belize my home, my native land.
Tell him that we ballin'.
I want you people to understand.
Tell him that we ballin'.
I am proud to be a Belizean.
Tell him that we ballin'.
Yo bande, yo bande.
Tell him that we ballin'.
Yo bande, yo bande. I am a true Belizean.
Tell him that we ballin'.
Belize my home, my native land.
Tell him that we ballin'.
I want you people to understand.
Tell him that we ballin'.
I am proud to be a Belizean.
Tell him that we ballin'.
Yo bande, yo bande.
Tell him that we ballin'.
Yo bande, yo bande. I am a true Belizean.
Tell him that we ballin'.
Belize my home, my native land.
Tell him that we ballin'.
I want you people to understand.
Tell him that we ballin'.
I am proud to be a Belizean.
Tell him that we ballin'.
Yo bande, yo bande.
Tell him that we ballin'.
Yo bande, yo bande. I am a true Belizean.
Tell him that we ballin'.
Belize my home, my native land.
Tell him that we ballin'.
I want you people to understand.
Tell him that we ballin'.
I am proud to be a Belizean.
Tell him that we ballin'.
Yo bande, yo bande.
Tell him that we ballin'.
Yo bande, yo bande. I am a true Belizean.
Tell him that we ballin'.
Belize my home, my native land.
Tell him that we ballin'.
I want you people to understand.
Tell him that we ballin'.
I am proud to be a Belizean.
Tell him that we ballin'.
Yo bande, yo bande.
Tell him that we ballin'.
Yo bande, yo bande. I am a true Belizean.
Tell him that we ballin'.
Belize my home, my native land.
Tell him that we ballin'.
I want you people to understand.
Tell him that we ballin'.
I am proud to be a Belizean.
Tell him that we ballin'.
Yo bande, yo bande.
Tell him that we ballin'.
Yo bande, yo bande. I am a true Belizean.
Tell him that we ballin'.
Belize my home, my native land.
Tell him that we ballin'.
I want you people to understand.
Tell him that we ballin'.
I am proud to be a Belizean.
Tell him that we ballin'.
Yo bande, yo bande.
Tell him that we ballin'.
Yo bande, yo bande. I am a true Belizean.
Tell him that we ballin'.
Belize my home, my native land.
Tell him that we ballin'.
I want you people to understand.
And greetings to everyone. This is Navel String Connections, and I am Bilal Morris, live with you from my studio here in Los Angeles, California. And ARIA, I think, jet logged. I told her, she'll take a rest. You come from 8 hours of flight plus 4 hours of wait. She was traveling, and so she may not join us today. She may not. Maybe she still will come in, but for any other reasons, again, we want to say this is Navel String Connections, and we have our guests waiting in studios at the XTV, live from Belize, our brother Wayne Moody, and we have a lot to talk about, and Wayne has just recently returned back to Belize. Before we even bring our guest on, we want to say this is Navel String Connection, a XTV production. I am Bilal Morris, your host for today, and our sister ARIA LIGHTFOOT also hosts the show. She hopefully may not join us. We will see. But again, we want to say that we want to invite you, the Belizean audience, in the Belizean diaspora, in the United States, across the United States, the big cities, New York, Chicago, and LA, where the concentration of Belizeans live. We want to ask you to tell one about Navel String Connections. We are a show that features Belizeans who have lived abroad, who living abroad, and who have done excellent things to help develop the country of Belize. Even though you're not living there anymore, your navel string is buried there. That doesn't mean that you cannot contribute directly and indirectly to the development of Belize. And Belizeans in the diaspora have contributed to Belize for decades now, decades. There's a whole history there. And we hope that one day there'll be a policy, a public policy, Belize's national policy for Belizeans abroad that will help accelerate the development of the country itself. We play a big role. And even if you may have not you are not living there no more, like our brother Wayne, guest today, but we have returned back home to Belize through retirement, just repatriation and stuff like that. And we have kept our word in a way. We have taken Belize with us wherever we go. And so we have Belizeans in the United Kingdom, big stories. I'm a journalist myself. I write a lot, bring us a lot of stories of the Belizeans who served in World War II. The Buffalo Soldiers, Wayne, you know,
Yes.
that served in Cash and Wait and Fairweather. Those were Belizeans that were diaspora Belizeans that lived abroad that helped Britain and the Allies win the war, uh, World War II, and they should be congratulated. They should be honored. The Memorial Park uh, tribute to them. The men of World War One, our own Samuel Haynes, who went to World War One, was a Belizean in the diaspora. He wrote the poem "Land of the Gods" that became our national anthem. We have to honor these people. Our history of Belizeans in the diaspora goes way back to the 1800s. Ernest Lyons, Dr. Ernest Lyons. And we have to always remind Belizeans of the history of the Belizean diaspora because it expands for centuries. Music, the arts, who have come to the United States, lived there, and have contributed to the fabric and the development of the United States. Belizeans who have lived in Britain, Belizeans who went to the war, never returned, who fathered children, men of the forestry workers that went to Scotland. The tides come. He mentions that those forestry workers were so very important, and a lot of them may have passed away, but the mascot of them brought these women home that they had to send them back because these Scottish women could not deal with the harsh climate in Belize. But our publisher, Evan Exide, reminds us from the Amana newspaper that the reason for these men played a tremendous role because the wood that they were cutting built the Spitfire, the Spitfire, and those aircrafts. And so we will have to make sure that we remind Belizeans at home and abroad that there is a big, large Belizean diaspora history. Nadia Catus, that would always remind, he was also involved in World War um, as a medic or some sort, but also politically, very political. They very, very bright history. And so, with that little historical context, we want to bring this brother on, Wayne Moody, because I think that not enough justice have been given to Wayne Moody. I mean, when we had you on before, but not enough justice have been given to the dynamism of Wayne Moody. I'm someone who knew him from teenagers. Um, I know the work that he has done. His migration to the United States, he lived here in Los Angeles, and the work that he has done. And Wayne Moody is a life coach, right? A dream builder. Many people have dreams, Wayne, and the dreams are deferred. you know, Langston Hughes, right? Team deferred, bro. As an educator and teacher myself, I have to always try to remind my students and push them, do not let your dreams be deferred. But without any further, we want to introduce you to our audience. When you're no stranger to Naval String Connection, you were on here before with me and ARIA. And we discussed your work while you were living in Los Angeles as a Belizean that was doing your work, was making your contribution, was doing your thing, building your brand. Like Lennox Samuels told me, Gleason asked him on XTV, where were you for 30 some years? You just come home? I said, I was building my career.
Oh my.
Then another question, the man, they asked him, do you still talk Creole? Because he's speaking accent.
Oh,
But it's weird how we the gap between those at home and abroad, and we act like sometimes we are strangers to one another, Wayne. But let's bring you on, my brother. And the last time you were on here, you tell us about where your navel string is buried in Belize. But again, tell us again. Tell us about Wayne Moody, how your life start, what got your life started, on what platform did you launch yourself into the Belizean society when you lived in Belize, you know, where you were born, how you were raised, your parents, and tell us about it. Introduce yourself, my brother.
well, before I start, Bilal, I know you have me some months older than I am, right? Because I'm 63, and how old are you?
I am, I am
Older
same.
than me. And a part of the
Yeah,
tradition,
by a month.
a part of the tradition of our ancestors, we would ask the elders if we can start and speak. So I want to ask you permission to speak.
Yes, my brother. Granted, very
Okay.
much.
So the shirt says straight out of Belize, right?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
when I moved to the States and folks would ask me, so where are you from? I would say, I'm originally from heaven, but I was dropped off in a piece of heaven called Belize. And that's my beginning, right? Because my beginning started before I was born. And this is a part of my philosophy that I teach because we came through our parents, but not from our parents. My mom had an egg and my dad shot millions of sperms. One of them hit, so I started a winner. We started as a winner. And even today there's a lot of controversy about gender or what's your pronoun, he, she, it, they, my, why. But one of my mentors says a male is a male and a female is a male that carries a fetus. Can you carry a fetus? Do you carry a fetus? No.
Right.
So I'm not a female. A man
Yes.
is a man, and a woman is a man that carries a womb. I don't carry a womb, so I'm not a woman. Now, I'm not asking you how you're feeling, because you might be feeling like a woman, but that doesn't make you a woman. But I was born to Albert and Louise Moody, and my mother and my father told me the story of how they ran out of the house on Amara Avenue and the house fell. My mom was pregnant with me during Hattie Hurricane. And I was one of those babies that were born in January 1962. I'm in Belize City. I
Thank you. The parents did I say, post-hatty generation.
and where the house was that they came out of was right around the corner from where the bear used to live, right? Cairo Street, Glen Street. That's the whole era where we grew up together because we lived on the canal side one spell, 36 each canal, right? And that the part I used to sit down and watch. I used to look through the hole from the house we used to live in. I looked downstairs the part in the gamble. And when the police then come, man, they jumped at canal, they broke up the table. So I grew up in that neighborhood, right? And I remember my first job, basically, my younger brother taught me he would go and get beacon, and then we would trade a mandala, a reporter, and we used to do beacon reporter a mandala, right? And we used to go to a mandala press, go get for we 50. And that's how I started making some money. And we would sell Friday night. And then Saturday morning, we go to market, go finish. So that's my beginning as far as just an average life of a kid on the south side, right? And fast forward, I was 14 years at St. Michael's, and I think you were there. And my
Yes.
mother My mother actually took my second youngest brother to an event at Bird's Isle. Bird's Isle is nothing like it is today. When I got back, it's not an island. It's like, psh. But my mother took my second youngest brother to Bird's Isle, and there was some crowd control, and there was a police that was a known bully, and he handled my mom. Her pressure went up, and she died. At 14,
Remember that very well, Wayne.
that
Remember that
age,
very
you
well.
know, and I identify so much with many of the young people today who have to deal with the police because at 14, they had the inquiry, they had the court, and that police walked out smiling. And I was coaching my three younger brothers that one day we had some unfinished business to do. So 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, I was coaching my younger brothers, and they're all now still alive. But at 18, then I had a spiritual experience. You remember our good friend Gordon Solomon?
Very much so.
Gordon took me to a meeting, right? And the speaker was speaking on the topic, Up and Change Your World. And it was a basic message. He said, the world is in a dilemma and needs to change, but the only way the world could change is if people change. And the only way people could change is if you submit your life to God. Have God come in your life and make changes. And it was 45 years ago, March, I've been on the spiritual journey. And I remember at Technical, Technical, when I say we in Moody, invite me and I had to bring the whole Belmopan and Belize passe. But that's who I was. But even in that evolution, because I was talking just this week to Melba Brown, you know Melba Brown, right?
Melba Brown, yes.
And
indeed.
she was in sixth form when I was there, because what happened, I went to Michael's, and when Dr. Young was going to leave, I said, I don't want to stay because Mr. Satchwell to come. I think you stayed, but I left.
Well, you're afraid for such it.
I never want nobody lash me. So I followed Dr. Young, one of my mentors. I got to honor him and those leaders of ours. And by the way, a segue here, because
That's where he left, where he went when he left Michael's.
yes, he went to Technical.
The
And
doctor.
when I got back, a little bit of when I got back up head here, I met Mr. Card again, and his son met me just at Bliss because there was a young guy who's a dream builder. He did a search for DJs in July, this July. And there I met Mr. Card's son, and he took me to meet Mr. Card. And as soon as Mr. Card saw him, he brought out the book. It's a finished book. Amazon had sent it for them to look at any corrections needed.
Wow.
And the book on Belize Technical College, Moses is supposed to do the official interview of him, but the book is released. It's on Amazon, Belize Technical College. But I went to Belize Technical College, taught for a year. Then I went to Jamaica. I'd gone to Bible school, came back and I taught at Sec 1. I was the first teacher at Sec 1 that took the students to CXC, and then we went to Fort Farm. Then I came to Center for Employment Training, where I met the young man that I was talking to a while ago. And then my last job in Belize, I was the youngest member under mentorship of General Artes, Noor Mohammed, and Mr. Dalfus. Those are men that have influenced my life, right? And I again give homage to those men because they have helped to mold me. But this journey has took me so far to where now, I believe it or not, my ex-wife and I had gone to the States the day before 9/11. And America has never been the same, and I've never been the same.
Yes.
But my wife and I ended up separating. A part of my journey of my life is that I totally devastated my wife's life, my ex-wife. And I tell you, we are a most greatest friends today. Just today, I got back to Belmopan, and I was telling her I was back. And she has given me so much love. And yet, I can take responsibility for where I have been. And I say today, who I was yesterday is not going to be who I am today, and who I'm going to be tomorrow is not going to be who I am today, because I'm ever evolving and changing. And, many times people know you as Orderly Bilal from way back there, but listen, that's not the same Bilal today, because even while we're talking now,
Wow.
change is occurring. The body, the cells that are being released from our bodies, just our physical body is changing as we're here. And then who we are spiritually, it's a continuous evolution. So here I am back over 3 months in Belize, and there's a part of the story that I would love to share here on Creme for the first time, because you know my story. You know the depths of my being in the States and some of the dynamics of being in the States in this time. And, when I got back from the States, when I was leaving Houston, I said I was going to pack my flag on my carry-on. And when I was coming off the plane, I got at the door and I asked the flight attendant, could you put that flag around my neck for me? It's the same flag behind me. I had it like a cape, right? Actually, on the 10th of September, I was marching in the street with this same flag, right? I got off the plane and they told me before I got back in Belize, you walk from the plane, you walk to the terminal. They don't want you to stop. So I walked off the stairs. And when I got to the bottom, I could see the security and I looked at her and they say it's better to ask forgiveness than permission. And I said to the person, I said, I'm kissing the ground. And by the time they told me I couldn't, I was coming off the ground because I'd kissed the ground. I walk inside the terminal, right? And I give my passport, my Belize passport. So the young lady said, do you have a green card? I said, no. He said, you have an American passport? I said, no. She said, how did you get this passport? I said, I went to the embassy and I got the passport. I said, listen, I didn't want $1,000, so I'm here. The lady got to talk to the immigration.
You self-deport.
BILAL,
we can laugh about it, but that's the story I want you to tell her. We're not gonna have no.
listen.
I'm not gonna be shy about it, brother.
No, I am unfiltered, and Creme is the first place that I'm actually talking about this experience.
I was listening to a Tucker interview he did, and he said he wrote a poem called "Born Illegal." But
I didn't know, BILAL, I didn't know till I went to the States that I was a minority. That's when I found out I was a minority, and I've never taken claim of that because globally we are not the minority, the people of melanin, right? But fast forward, when I first went to the States, it was different. You got your Social Security. I mean, you could have gotten documents. So when I decided to just take residence, because I had like a 10-year multiple visa, and I was just extending until I couldn't extend no more, but I've already started working.
You were coming to the States way back in 1984, in the 1980s,
right,
when you and I connected.
I would just go and come back. But at the point when I decided I was just gonna stay, I was staying until I couldn't stay no more. And I was paying my taxes. Because I was working, because I could work, because they ask you either for your social and your driver's license or some other document, and I had at least 2 of the 3. And it was actually all of my family, they're covered, because I said I never want to live in the States. So everybody got their green card, citizenship, and I was the only one didn't. And recently, like when things started shifting, like over 6 years ago, one of my sisters filed for me, right? But the process was going to be different because it's a longer period. And I remember talking to the immigration attorney, and he was telling me, man, since that first term of this guy, things already started changing. And I said, you know what? I got a place called home. I'm going home. Yes. And strangely, BILAL, there are many people like this, because especially people who were working legally. Do you know that when I sought to go apply to get my Social Security, I couldn't. And I had put in over 22 years and I couldn't. So all that, I decided, you know what, I'm going to leave that. But the good thing about it, I had already started creating who I am today as a life coach. And the intellectual property that I have, no one can take that away from me. Exactly. That is what I bring as I come back home.
Wealth. That's your wealth.
I literally shipped my stuff, set up my life in Belize, came back to Belize, and I come now, I say this is the last quarter of the game. And best place to play the last quarter than home court advantage. So my story started as a world changer at 18. At 63 right now, I give God thanks, healthy, strong, no medication. I can get on the bus, I can walk in the city. And man, I say I'm the happiest man in the universe because I'm where I'm supposed to be as far as where God wants me. And I'm doing exactly what God wants me to do today. So I'm an open book. Like I said, who I was then is not who I am now, and who I'm going to be tomorrow is not even going to be who I am today, because I'm ever evolving. And I was talking to a gentleman today, and I said, there are 2 things, BILAL, that we can work together. If you love God, and when I say God, I'm not talking about a religious system, but I'm talking about the Creator the universe. And if you love this country called Belize, and when I say love it, not pimping it, not selling it, not exploiting it, if you love it, then we can work together. And this is my call. And you asked me, so what is the impact of people in my life since I've been back? Because there's a challenge sometimes with the diaspora and those who are still in Belize, because some people come back with a attitude of, well, I'm going to show you what to do. Listen, I'm saying I'm coming back. And I remember I got back on the 29th, and on the Monday night, our good friend Darrell Carter wanted me on the show, he and Troy Gabb, right? And when I was leaving that first interview, because the first week I was there was like I'm back home. I was on Love, I was on Five, I was on the different networks. And the young lady said to me, so Wayne, it says, you are here to set, to serve, empower, and transform. And since I've been back, one of my clients from SJC, the assistant dean, she said, Mr. Moody, I would love for you to speak to, and when they were doing their staff development in the summer, I had the high school, the junior college, and the university staff. I did a session with them on how to live your best life. I did the same thing for the ACC staff. I did the same thing for the Excelsior staff. So I'm saying, I'm here. I want to serve. I'm willing to serve for you. My work, I'm a coach, and I teach and I coach, not so much to be paid, but this is what I do, so I'm being paid. I have clients still in the States. I have clients in Belize. And the exciting thing for me is that in 2020, early COVID, I'd moved to Hawaii, and that was a short-lived. And then I came back to the States as far as the mainland. And in Houston was where I've been since my preparation to come home. And I did a virtual summit in 2020 while I was in Hawaii, and it's the weekend after Thanksgiving. And I have said the first time, every weekend after Thanksgiving, I will serve my clients and empower them and motivate them for the next year. In 2023, I told my clients 2024 was going to be the last virtual summit. And 2023, I started to prepare for Sankofa Mastermind, first in-person summit, which is in Belize this year. It's the weekend after Thanksgiving. Clients from the States and clients in Belize are going to be meeting together. And I mentioned to you a while ago, Dr. Marfield, who's a Belizean, his dream is to create a health and wellness center in the nation of Belize, and I get to say I'm coaching him. I mean, the young people at ACC, while I was in the States, I told my cousin Claude, who is the person responsible for the scholarships, I want to coach these kids that get the scholarship. And for 3 years now, the first 2 years, I was telling them, I'll be there for your graduation. Now I have these kids in person on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Monday coming, I'm going to have one of them with me on a airing on another interview. But I have been doing the work, and like Belize Technical College, our theme is deeds, not words. And reference to where I'm coming from, I have a story, but I'm not my story. We have a history which we can't deny, but we're not our history. Who we are is who we imagine we would love to be, because the pendulum swings from one end to another, where one end they're telling us it didn't happen and we shouldn't talk about it, but it swings to the other end where all we're doing is talking about it. Okay, we're talking about it, but what is it that we envision for us to have? Because that stroke transformation begins. You acknowledge where you are, take responsibility for where you are, blame nobody for where you are, and envision where you'd love to be, and then start doing what you can to get there.
Right. And that bugs me the question to ask you, what is this life coach all about? What is it? It's a science. It's based on psychology, a dream builder. Because we are talking to an audience that probably don't know anything about this. And pretend like we are talking to people who don't know anything about what a life coach does and a dream builder. And
Well,
pivot it into your work, how it started for you. I know it started from you were in Belize. From you as a you have always I've always known you. You've always when you took on your professional life after high school, you were always involved with the life of counseling others, right? Transferring knowledge, but helping to empower. But your work, you sort of you sort of developed it to a higher level when you came to the United States. And I think a lot of Belizeans in Belize and maybe Belizeans who live in the diaspora don't quite understand what life coaching is, what a dream builder is all about. What is it based from? Where does it come out from? What is the history of it? What does it do?
Well, I'd like to
You
cite,
yourself, as Wayne Moody, the dream builder, the life coach.
I would like
How
to,
did yours start in the United States? Was it based on a business? Were you working for a company? But give us the genesis of it, Wayne, in terms of
so
the
I'd like to cite,
jargon.
I'd like to cite three individuals that were dream builders, right? Joseph, who had the dream of taking his people in Egypt, right? Joseph
Awesome.
was a dream builder. He got
Excellent.
caught, right? And he had to go from the pit to the prison to the palace. So it was a process to get there. LeBron James, young brother, he's in high school and he decides to go pro instead of going college. And everything was in LeBron already, but the coaches actually brought it out. That's what coaches do. They bring out what is there. They don't put it in there. They bring it out. Kobe Bryant, he knew what he was, and he wasn't even the picture of what he was going to become, but he knew what he wanted to become. He put in the work. He showed up before the coach, and he was there after the coach, and he knew how much more he had to do because to excel and go beyond the people that even had more raw talent than he did. So those are three examples that I would give reference to say what coaching is all about. Now, for me, the last job I had working in the States, I was working as a manager of a behavior program, right? And you're familiar with special ed.
Right.
Adults, when they age out of special ed, I was managing a behavior program when they came. Qualified to be a part of the program that I manage, they had to be acting out. They had to be acting out. So
Taught that group.
they came in acting out, they're throughout the day acting out, and they leave acting out. That's what I did. And that's another part of the intellectual property that I have. And in our system and Belize, there's not much. I know we have some reference. How do you deal with special ed? Even the kids today, you know, in the States, you have your diagnosis and that again is another business because the pharmaceutical companies are quick to give you a diagnosis because it means that they will sell you drugs for the rest of your life. But the work that I was doing was very intense. And I was at that job for 10 years. And I became aware that it was taking the life out of me. And I don't think no job, no person, nothing should be taking your life. If it's not giving you life, then you need to let it go. And I had to leave that job. And my niece had come back from Florida and she said, because I was talking to my family and friends, I don't know how long I can stay with this job. And my niece said, Uncle, why don't you try Uber? And I bought a brand new car in LA and I started driving on the weekends. And I'm like, man, I tasted this thing BILAL called freedom of time. And I said, I'm out of here. I gave them 30 days notice, made sure everything was smoothly transitioned. And I started driving Uber. Now, listen, I was sent abroad from Belize to Japan as an ambassador on one occasion. And here I was now driving Uber. But you know what? It was a learning experience. And do you know how many rides I did for 4 years and 8 months? 23,070. From San Diego to Ventura. My longest ride was to Vegas.
To work. Yeah.
But you know, I'm in the car and okay, I'm driving Uber. I'm not working for nobody per se, but I could set my own schedule. I can travel when I want. And that's what I enjoy. That's a part of the dream. We would love to be free to really, that's a part of how you set up the dream of the life of your dream. So I'm in church one Sunday. I'm an Uber driver and my pastor, Noel Jones, you know, Grace Jones, her brother. He said the business in this church that need to be created, go create them, right? So I'm like, okay, God, what can I do that I can monetize? Now I knew I was a teacher from 7, 8 years old. West Street, George Street. I used to take my money and got school and I teach, right? Because I always wanted to teach. So life coach came, right? The thought. And I found a mentor. I don't know if you've ever heard of Les Brown.
Les Brown.
Les Brown, right? So
Yes.
Les Brown and my mentor were mentored by the same guy by the name of Jack Boland, right? So her name is Mary Morrissey. And I did a work with her for 6 months called Quantum Leap. And it was like going into this system, Bilal, and deleting the mindsets that were not expansive, downloading the right thinking, did an antivirus, and I came up like an iPhone 17. I said, this is what I want to live, and this is what I want to teach. So I went back and I invested again, and I had to use OPM. You know what's OPM?
No.
Other people's money. I didn't have the money. But I was investing in what I believe I wanted to do. So in 2019, I got certified and I was like, okay, God, give me clients. My first client, right? His name is Dr. Highshaw. He's in LA right now. He's coming for the summit. When I met Dr. Highshaw, I said, he was Carl. I said, Carl, I just got certified. Can I be your life coach? He said, why not? And I can tell you, he had funding to have he's a social entrepreneur. So he had funding for 3 staff. And now today, his nonprofit is serving in Compton. It's over 35 staff. It's a multi-million-dollar nonprofit. Week before last Friday, I checked in with him because every client I work with, I do a 12-week program, but I'm your coach for life. He was telling me the building that they were renting, they own now.
Wow.
So
Success.
I am his life coach. And coaching, what the coach does, it helps if let's say it's a physical coach for your body. I say if I'm going to get a coach to coach me in the gym, at least they got to look like they're in shape. If I'm going to coach you to live your best life, I got to show the expression of what that is. My brother, I am living the purpose of God. That's the best life. And honestly, one of my mentors says one of the most wealthiest places is the cemetery. Because there lies a lot of dreams, a lot of books, everything that would have wanted to be done. And one of the challenges that comes up when people start stepping out into what they dream is fear. And one of the modules that I teach in the 12-week is how to reframe fear. Because, man, when you're stepping out to the unknown, fear is going to pop up. But how do you deal with it? When I was introduced to Zoom early COVID, I was afraid, Bilal. But it was a young person who took my hand and taught me. And now look at me, I'm on Zoom on an interview. I've had conferences in Zoom, and all my conferences for the dream building has been in Zoom. And I have a private Facebook group called Sankofa Masterminds, right? And the Sankofa is a Ghanaian bird with its egg under its wing, and it glances back as it's moving forward. And you know, driving, you have a rear view mirror, which is small. And you glance in it every so often, but you don't drive using your rearview mirror. You look at the windshield. So the Sankofa Mastermind Summit is going to be in Belize the 29th, the 30th of November this year, the 1st and 2nd of December. Even in conjunction with the summit, I've connected with Niche, the museum in Belize. We're actually going to have an art exhibition the Wednesday before to the Wednesday after, because some of my dream builders are artists. So there's going to be an art exhibition in the middle of all of this. On Saturday, clients come in and the Belizean dream builders, we meet at Biltmore. And what we're going to do.
Yeah. Before you go to that Belizean dream builders, I want to know, and the audience would like to know, what became excellent explanation of life coaching and dream building.
Well, as a dream builder.
But how did you develop your brand? Because I know Wayne Moody comes from a religious background.
Right.
Right? You are an evangelist Christian from when I knew you. How did you incorporate? And today we want to talk about spirituality, and all of that, but we should not be afraid to, how do we use our faith-based driven initiatives?
Well, you know,
a lot of people run away when they hear, oh, it's religious and me no want to deal with no religion and I am subscribe to a different theory. I'm not afraid to uphold my Islamic faith, and wherever I go, I uphold that. But how did Wayne Moody build his brand of life coaching, of dream building, using your evangelizing strategies that I've known you, I've counseled many, in calling people to the Creator? Don't be shy about it.
Well, you know,
calling people to the Creator. Now you're calling people to a dream. But what is that that dream is taking them directly to who their maker is.
Right.
People
Because
get up when and they pray, oh God, help me, get me some money. I want some money. And that's only when we know God, right? We don't
well,
want to talk about God. We don't
you
want to hear
know,
about no God. But
Bilal,
I'm not going to be shy to ask you that because
every
I know you have incorporated that into your life. Talk about your brand.
every person that is breathing today, right? You and I, we're breathing, right? The atheist, the agnostic, the evangelical, the everyone that is breathing today, there's one source breathing life through us. All the religions that I know have a beginning somewhere. Where I go as far as reference to my spirituality is before all that was created. So I have a client in New York and he's like, we do the introductory meeting and he said, I'm a Buddhist. Is that going to affect us? I said, no, because
Absolutely not.
the laws that I'm going to teach you are universal laws. The universal law is whatever you sow, you reap. That is right across the board.
Yes, yes.
The life source that breeds each and every one of us is not Methodist, Baptist, nothing. Because before all things were, the source, who God is, is. So I go way back because think about it. Our ancestors, for example, using the religious thing about it, our ancestors were coming to the Americas before Columbus. And even when Columbus came, he came in the name of Jesus.
Yes.
I mean, and they come and they actually genocide. They did. I mean, listen, and as a part of the diaspora, and when I say the diaspora, wherever we are as a people of melanin, it was always the intention to come and exploit and thief. They say the colonizers went to Africa and they told the people to bow your head and close your eyes. And when the people opened their eyes, they had the Bible in their hand, but then they had all the land and all the other stuff.
You know the stories, right?
So I know the stories, but when it comes to my faith, because if you know me, I always say I am a son of the Most High. I have divine DNA. I have the life of God flowing through me. And I honestly, I don't even use the term as far as saying the term Christian, because that is not even a term that was used by the people who were practicing what they were practicing. They were just believers. And now even the term Christian, because when you look at what's happening in your neighborhood with the people that are very much, what do you call it, Christian nationalists, wanting to impose. And one of the things that I do know, you can't legislate your belief.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
And you
certain
know when the embodiment of this Christ, like I'm not gonna be shy of anything. Because you, as a life coach and as a dream builder, from what I am hearing and the science of this thing, you're coming in, you can't be coming in hiding hands. As how do you, as a spiritual being who have walked in the way of Jesus the Christ, because that's a powerful figure.
I
That's a
meet
powerful. Even
people,
Prince got up in a concert and says, "This song is dedicated to the greatest man that ever lived, Jesus the Christ." And he wrote a song about it. You know, he was not shy about that,
I,
right, Prince? And
my
remember, whatever
spirituality,
it was, right, Jehovah Witness or whatever. But how does Wayne Moody? I know you walk in that light. You walked in the way of Christ because he was an evangelist, dude. He did the work. He was no play.
I am a
The Jesus
disciple.
that they give to people.
I'm a disciple of Jesus Christ, right?
Yeah.
I don't go under the banner of any denomination personally,
Yes. Yes.
right? My relationship is personal and it doesn't discriminate me from say associating because you know, when I used to be in LA, even before I'm where I'm at today, you take me to the mosque. I enjoy,
You went.
I did.
You went.
Like I
You
said,
didn't say, "Nah, man, I'm gonna mess with that." you, you
but
came in there. You.
for me, honestly, I don't even discriminate who I will work with. The only people that I will not work with, Bilal, are
Yes.
people who say no.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
say I don't work with no. I will work with anyone because what I do is teaching spiritual principles
Yes.
and take your dream from conception to manifestation. No matter,
And when you have a dream, Bill, a person who's trying to realize their dream, the person is a devout Christian, a person who actually is in it. They are coming to Wayne and they're saying, I want to realize my success. I have this business, right? How do I put my religious based faith into realizing my dream? I mean, nothing is wrong with that.
well, like I said, I've actually coached Buddhists. I've coached people who don't even go to church.
Right?
I've coached any and everybody because it's about meeting people where they are and
And you
loving
may have
them.
even coached some Muslims.
Yep, I have.
Right.
So there is no discrimination when it comes to the laws of success as far as manifestation of what it is, because one of the fundamental principle, right, is this. Every single thing, Bilal, begins with a thought. And everything is created twice. First in the mind, and then you put the energy into it, then it's manifested. This station that we're on right now was conceived in the mind of a young man by the name of Evan X. Hyde.
Yes.
It was a thought. Energy has been placed in it, and now
Yes.
this is what we have. So, and again, if you want to know the purpose of a thing, you got to go back to the maker of the thing. And the maker, there's no discrimination in the maker because each and every one of us, I believe, no matter who you are, we are a unique expression of the divine. That's where I come from when I come to who I am. And as far as who we are, because, you know, in the East, you see folks do this and they say namaste, right? And in essence, what people are saying when they do this is they're saying, the divine in me sees and honors the divine in you. That is, and I mean, every single person created in the image and likeness of the creator. Now, in our humanity, that's where we have flaws, you know, but who we are as a spiritual being, we are a unique expression of who God is, and our lives is as unique as your thumbprint, right? And all of us, I believe, no matter who you are. I have a niece who's Down syndrome, right? And I do believe that she was born with purpose. She's a part of my family, and she has her own disposition, but she was in the mind of the creator. She's not a mistake. None of us is a mistake. But
Absolutely.
when you come from that place, Bilal, where you realize, man, that I'm not here by chance, I'm here with purpose. And you know who Warren Buffett is, right?
Yes.
Wherever Warren Buffett invests, people feel like that's a good place to invest, right? God has invested in every single person. And when I say God, I'm not talking about the Muslim God or the denominational God or whatever religious type.
Universal God.
God has invested in every person, gifts and abilities and talents. And we are sent to fulfill that purpose that was in the mind of the maker, because we were all made to fulfill a purpose. And I say in the life of Wayne Moody, I'm the star. God is the executive director, producer, and God and I are creating a blockbuster life. In the life of BILAL Morris, you the star. And God and you are creating a blockbuster life. And that is the life that I would love to live, the life that God has purposed for me to live. And becoming aware.
A lot of people think that things are happening by luck. I'm going to get this job. You have a client. The client is a believer in Zoroastrianism or stars or or, or witchcraft, right? And they come to Wayne Moody and I want you to realize my dream, but this is my way of life.
Well, but you see,
I believe in luck, chance.
see,
In the case of probability, a gambler, right?
this journey, and this is what I learned, right? The program that I learned in the mentorship of the mentor that I have, it's a 12-week program, right? And the first week is designing the dream.
Yes.
And that's where you start. You got to write the vision, make it plain and run with it. You got to, what is it that you really, really desire? Because that's what you start with. And the proof of desire is in pursuit.
Yeah.
You got to, and then you got to test the dream. And there are 5 questions that we ask as you come up with this dream that you believe, right? And these are the 5 questions. When you think of this thing that you endeavor to create, does it make you feel alive? Because
Yes.
if it's not giving you life, you don't deserve it. The second question is it in line with your core values? Because if it's not in line with your core values, then you're selling out yourself. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of people go against their core values, whether it's in fame or whatever. The third question is, do I need help from a higher power to see this thing materialize? The fourth question is it going to require me to grow? And then the fifth question is there going to be good in it for others? Those are what I check off. I come up with what the dream is, but those are the questions that I ask reference to this thing that I want to do, because dream building is not like a genie. You rub it and it
That's
comes.
what I'm coming.
That's not dream building, because a lot of people say today, I want change,
Not a fantasy.
but they don't want to change.
Yes.
I mean, we can say, man.
And if they want it, they want it now.
And the thing is, we do not get what we desire,
Yeah.
but we get who we are.
Yes, yes, yes.
We don't get what we desire, because if I got what I desire, I would win the lotto tonight.
And you're giving them a long-term hope, Wayne. They are short-term thinkers.
It's a process.
And when they see that they don't, I'm not messing here anymore because my dream not going true, right?
Sure.
They don't understand it's a long-term. It's a long-term
in 12 weeks, Bilal, if you get a personal trainer in the gym, the 12 weeks is just going to get you in a rhythm as far as the discipline. Because if you come in the gym and you know you have this body, but this is not the body that you desire. The body that I desire is this body. I'm going to be honest with you. One of the first thing I'm going to do is an assessment of you. Can you lift the bar?
And they say, I guess you tell a lot of your clients, look, if you're coming in here for overnight sensation, this is the wrong. You're coming with the wrong person.
And you know, we live in
a
generation today where people want microwave stuff, right? But honestly, unless you're willing to go through the process, you will not actually see the results. Because what I say, and I've learned this, in order for me to become what others won't be, I got to do what others won't do. And for me personally, as I have evolved, when I started this business, like I said, Bilal, I didn't even have money.
Yeah.
And even now, 6 years, right? 6 years, I'm not in the place yet where I could say, okay, it's all together, but I know I'm not where I used to be. And I'm envisioning things to become even better and greater. I mean, I had to go through the process of spending thousands of dollars to ship my stuff home and getting a place to rent and still working with clients, and then not having the kind of connections that I had when I was in the States. But you know what? I love this country and I know God. Now, when I say God, I'm not talking about a religion. I'm talking about a personal relationship. The book is going to be out shortly, by the way. And the book is called Meeting with My Executive Director. I've been practicing meeting with my executive director for over 45 years. And it involves life of practices of meditation, fasting, spiritual practices that are actually have made me who I am today. And when I meet someone, I don't say, oh, I'm a Christian. I am a son of the Most High.
That embodies in you your whole, when you come in front of that client, you don't have to say that.
No, I don't say, because
you don't
it's
have to say, like you said, the motto that Technical had. We don't say.
Not words. Yeah. And again, honestly, people don't want to hear another sermon today. They want to see a life demonstrated.
No,
and I have learned in my, even in the, what you'd call the Christian community, right? I've learned that guilt, shame, condemnation is used to pimp people. That's just where I come from.
That's your evolution, that you have evolved to the new Wayne.
and listen, I'm
that's
still
learning. What you were before. You're not today.
I'm still learning today, Bilal, because every day, the more I learn about who God is, the more I learn about who I am, and the more I realize how much I don't know.
Yes.
So
and we don't know.
Right.
We have never arrived. We will always
Anybody,
don't know.
anybody that tells you that they have everything all encompassing, they're lying. There's only one being that is omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent,
Exactly.
and
And
that
now
is
you
God.
come back into the realm of your country. You come back into that reality, that cosmo of the Belizean cosmo. You come back to that reality. A new psych the psychology that you left, and you're coming back in as an evolved person with this skill to empower people. You know, you have been doing it from a long time ago, but now you have evolved and you are now coming back home to your country to help develop. They said those of us who come from the diaspora, one of our main objective is to come back to help develop the country, to help develop Belize. What are you have been back now for a little while. What have what have been your strategy and what have you done so far in terms of what you have brought
Well,
evolution and
I I actually
bringing
had
back to help uplift and empower you?
I have had clients even before I came back that were in Belize before I came back, right? So there's already people
Wow.
in Belize that have been coaching before I came back home, right? And then now there are more
Oh, you
people
even came. You
coaching.
were building.
So so
You started a long time.
so
Yeah.
the work just continues because you know I outlined one of the key things that I need is internet. All right, you're back.
Yeah. You hearing me?
You disappeared just a while ago. Some people recently, a while ago, they were hoping to be raptured.
Internet probably. Yeah. Internet. You're hearing me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you, but I was like, where did he go? Where did
I
he go?
was some problems recently on the show where I was totally gone, and I had to come show and ARIA had to.
Anyway, but you know, I like I said, I'm here to come alongside and serve.
We will let's take a break, and when we come back, I want to fix this because my internet is going back and forth. You're
I'm
hearing me,
hearing
right?
you.
Yeah, and Harlan, we're gonna take a break, and when we come back, we're gonna continue with Wayne Moody on the second segment. Again, we want to say this is Naval Restrictions. I'm Bilal Morris. We are speaking with Wayne Moody, a life coach, a dream builder. Wayne was on here before. And when we come back, we're going to continue the conversation. Stay with us.
Hey, let's talk about Kaya District, one of the most beautiful and vibrant places in Belize, rivaling Placencia in tourism traffic. Kaya has it all: majestic mountains, lush valleys, rivers, lakes, and incredible wildlife. Hidden in its jungles are ancient Maya temples, rich exotic cultural experiences you will not find anywhere else. But Kaya isn't just about tourism. It's also a hub for farming, cattle ranching, small businesses, and archaeological research. But here's the real gem. Despite growing demand, land is still affordable and accessible. So what are you waiting for? Act now. Do not wait until prices skyrocket. Need help buying land, building, investing, or a business plan? Call ARIA 813-486-8220. Land is the foundation for generational wealth. Discover Serendipity Hills, exclusively offered by Sabre Realty, just a few minutes from Belmopan, Belize's capital city. Nestled between the Belize River, La Ruta Maya's route, and the Western Highway, these lots offer a great opportunity for residential, commercial, or investment. Starting at 25,000 Belize dollars, owner financing is available with 4-year payment plans. Act now to secure a lot. Contact ARIA LIGHTFOOT at 813-486-8220 for further details or to arrange an exclusive tour. Serendipity Hills awaits. Embrace the extraordinary.
I am proud to be a Belizean. Your bande, your bande. Your bande, your bande. I am a true Belizean. Belize my home, my native land. I want you people to understand. I am proud to be a Belizean. Your bande, your bande. Your bande, your bande. I am a true Belizean. Belize my home, my native land. I want you people to understand. I am proud to be a Belizean. Your bande, your bande. Your bande, your bande.
And we are back. This is Naval String Connections. I'm Bilal Morris. I'm here in my studio in Los Angeles having a little bit of technical problems with my internet. This show, as we know, is broadcasted through Zoom, live on XTV, a Creme Television production. I mean, a XTV production. And if our audience sees me blacking out and my screen is gone, technology, Wayne, is never perfect. Michael Hyde keeps reminding me of that, right? Why technology not perfect, you know. You have a plan B for that Zoom thing when that happened to you. You have to go have that microphone and that soundboard. I just go up on the raw computer. That's what he's telling me, you know. You got to have that plan B because technology not perfect.
What
But
is gonna
again,
what
we
is
want
gonna
to say we are back with our guest, our brother, Wayne Moody, a life coach and dream builder. Wayne Moody has been doing this most of his life, even before he left for the United States. A very dynamic Belizean brother who has done tremendous work in counseling and an educator. Wayne, as I know him in Belize, has been an educator. Very, very brilliant math mind, math and physics mind. I guess you left Michael's and got technical, I mean, the place for that. All I know, math and physics.
Yeah.
And I've known you as that brother, and you have gone on to transfer knowledge as an educator. You have taught in several high schools in Belize, and you have been doing this for most of your life. This is your way of life, and you have evolved now to another level that is so very impressive. And we, before we left, went on break, we were talking about um, how you have used your brand in terms of coming back home to Belize, that evolution that you have experienced, and the new strategies that you're using now to empower Belizeans, and that you have done this before you have set up yourself before you even um, you won't use it before you even self-deport, right? Trump. Along comes the
Listen,
presidency of Donald Trump. Talk about it, Wayne, man, because it's all part of.
my
You got
family,
people who will come to you. I know if you're working still, the people will come to you and say, "My life has never been the same since Donald Trump came to power." My life coach,
you know what,
what
Bilal,
can I do?
there are a lot of
He's
people,
putting tariffs on my business. My business is suffering.
there are a lot of people who are going to be continuing coming home, but
Yeah,
they might not necessarily have a plan. They're
yeah,
not even thinking about it because it's easier to not want to think about it but that's not going to make it not be. You have to know exactly what
Who
you,
some of our people win in the
right.
diaspora, if they
What I'm
plan to
saying,
come home, what they should be
well,
dealing.
you know, you want to know that, hey, this is home. Whether you're legal or not legal in the States, Belize is home, right? And I mean, it's not just now people are being deported. People have been deporting all over a very good friend of mine, brother man, his name is Christopher Leben. He, you know, Chris,
Greek.
Greek did 30 years.
Yes.
And he's been back home now over 8 years. And when he came back, people thought that it was just maybe like a jailhouse
Wow. You
conversion.
met him, Wayne? You met him?
That's my brother. I
Wow.
mean, he and I hang out, and I tell him, man, he's all the way to the end of Boulevard.
Wizard football player.
Yes, and he now works with some of the kids on the south side.
Awesome.
He serves, and if there is anyone that is the servant, man, it's Chris. And he's been here over 8 years, and his focus is still there. I mean, amazing, amazing brother. Did 30 literal years. He's back home and he still has a purpose and his life is still going. So there is always life if you're still breathing.
You are a relief for those who have been deported and the
And
psychological, cultural shock that they experience coming back home. I once picked up a young lady with a paper bag in her hand when I lived back in Belize again, who was deported back. And when she got there, none of her family was alive.
it's
The
a major shock
psychological trauma and the
culturally.
things that deportees go through. Talk about it, man.
And the thing is, I would pray that the powers that be, whether it be non-governmental or governmental, have systems to actually help people to adjust. Whether you are a criminal or you're not a criminal, it's an adjustment. I mean, even if you're coming back home because you're retiring, you're coming back, it's an adjustment. It's an adjustment, and it takes a mental help. It takes some good support.
The serious cultural shock there, Wayne.
My two oldest sisters retired and they relocate back home, and they were like paving the way for me. Now they go back and forth. But what I'm saying, they're a part of my support. I still have family in Belize, and then the people that have impacted, you know how many, I was in the first week I got back, right? I went to the Holy Redeemer Credit Union because I'm back and I had to do. And here is this young lady in the parking lot shouting, "Mr. Moody, my teacher, Mr. Moody." When I look, it was Miss Kamabach. I said, "Miss Kamabach, how are you doing? Are you retired?" He said, "No." He said, "I retired, but they have me back here." She was the chief meteorological officer one time. Again, I meet these young people, Papi, that I have impacted, and they give me the respect that is due. They're in different positions doing great things. And this is what you get as
professionals now.
This is what you get as a teacher, and they give me the respect.
Yes.
Like you're talking about, how do we support those people who might not have had a plan executed to come back home? How do we do that?
Yes.
One, I mean, there's a lot of judgment that is happening. A friend of mine was telling me, man, this guy came back and he felt so ashamed. He was locked up in his house. He didn't go nowhere. And when he finally decided to come out, he died. Yes.
Wow, traumatic.
I mean, and again, mentally, it is traumatic. I stand tall right now and I'm saying, you know what? Whatever I have as far as the story that I have a story, but that's me. That's not me. I have a story, but I'm not my story. But my story can help somebody. I mean, even the folks that are here that have not, say, been brought back, there is so much work to be done, Bilal.
Yes.
I mean, one of the things that I feel since I've been back is there is need for hope. But how do we get hope? As far as faith is concerned, faith is when someone makes a promise to you and you can believe in the promise that they're given, and that's why you have faith in the promise. But there have been promises for the last 5 decades. And today I've met a lot of young people since I've been back who I don't even know. They don't even know me. But they need hope. They're crying out for hope. But how can you get hope unless you're getting promises that are being fulfilled? And the young people, there are quite a lot of young people, they're in a place right now where they're like, man, I don't know. I mean, you realize how many young people right now have degrees and they're actually working at a call center? And we were hearing the other day about pulling the rug. I mean, these are realities that we're talking about, even not being deported back to Belize.
Yeah.
What I know has changed, man, the infrastructure. I haven't seen so many tall buildings in all my life in Belize. I mean, the buildings are going up. Money is here. Money is here. But the question is, who has the money and what we're doing with the money? Because colonization is still with us. I mean, the mindset, and when I say colonization, even in the religious sphere, because one of my clients said earlier this year, if you're waiting for a white savior, he's not coming. And I go on and I say my endorsement is that a white one never did come.
It's like Montezuma thought that Cortez was.
So
Cortez said, "Yeah, you continue build that when Cortez got up."
Bilal, change begins when our thinking change. And people coming back, anybody that is coming back and you have a relative coming back and they're in such situations, man, I would want to be a support just because I have a support system.
Yeah.
My clients are a part of my support system. My family is a part of my support system. My family in the States and my family, I have friends and clients in the States that know my story and their support. So I think being authentic for me is one, because when you receive me, you're going to receive me and all of me. And I have no shame because, hey, I'm free.
Yeah.
I said to someone, you remember the story of the Wizard of Oz, right?
Yes.
Dorothy had on the shoes that she could have been home a long time ago, but she didn't know that she had it.
Mm-hmm.
When I got home the other day, Bilal, I threw away my shoes because I don't need I mean, I'm home.
Yes.
Man, I've been visiting some beautiful places here that is.
You want to feel a natural ground of home on your foot.
I lived in Hawaii for a while, and Hawaii is the closest thing to Belize that I can think of, but it's nothing like Belize. We're the greenest place that I think on the earth today.
Absolutely.
I mean, we have so much water.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked the question, so why are we buying water?
When it's very important because I want to bring these kids up. You also have an engineering kind of mind. My home at Tropical Park when I was building it. Kev's house, I had to stay in there. And the bill is high because he's bringing America.
Hello to
This is
Beaver.
one of the problems with our people when we want to bring America and put it in a Belize. And then when we get a wake-up call, we run back to America. I'm talking about those who have went home. This is a horror story. But so I went to Lin Young. I said, "Boy, Lin, I see you are Bill, Coco. This boy Bill high man. See, we go chop it down now. We said, but I have a call at our house, because you crazy. The third time you call. When you hear the house, I will say, halogen lamp here at the ceiling, one water heater." He said, "Do you understand how much electricity half a full length thing, my brother?" He said, "Why these Belizeans want to think that they could bring American appetite and bring it in a Belize where we got all the natural resources?" We say, that house where the bill electrical, you better put a solar panel for that thing here and go well water. We have so much. American guy that I met, he said, "Why Belizeans look like they don't do research?" He said, "We come in here and we live in here very, very inexpensive because we put the vatan that is flooring and we build the foundation top of it. We use solar and we use the natural we have." And it says, "But look like your people don't understand."
So
Electricity with says that's too expensive. You can't bring that kind of appetite. America have solar, uranium, but Belize don't have that. So why we? And I'm just seeing the sort of the thing
it's a mindset. It's a
the
mindset.
mindset
Yeah, it's a
that we
mindset
come with.
because
Yeah.
let's
And
look
even
at
not only those that who are abroad, but who come from home from abroad home, but right home there, we struggling, we looking around and we like can't make sense out of everything. And people are coming in there and living in expensive because they're using the natural resources that the country has.
and think about it. One of the things right now that we're dealing with is import export, right?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the things that are being imported are preserved, right? And they're things that are not healthy.
Yes.
We have
Until
natural, we can
we are
be,
killing out ourselves with the
yeah,
food.
what I'm saying, all the process and all the preserve, keep it. We
The
don't want it.
GDP, we spend so much on the GDP spent on importation of food, and we have moved away from agriculture and
That's
food
what I'm
security and
saying. We're talking about
self-sufficiency.
that today. We have enough produce that we could be eating that is healthy for us.
That's an American appetite. I saw Barbara. I had a piece I put up with Barbara. Barbara was telling the people that yeah, he's a Baha'i, right? So he's on a radio station and he's saying to them, we are a British, but we are more American than we are English. And this man is saying this thing what from 1960 when he's in a Boston studio. And
Hey,
and I'm reading this thing and I'm like, damn, he's saying this a long time ago. We are British. We are British colony, but we think like an American. We have American appetite.
the stuff that they have in the supermarkets in America, which we have in Belize too, a lot of that stuff is not even in Europe
Look at that, man.
because they ban it because it's not good. I mean, it's not healthy. And
Where
then
is our health program? Where is our Minister of Health in terms of drafting a policy to help curb um, the exacerbation and the rise of these diseases like diabetes? We don't have a health. We have a health policy. People are just eating anything that they can find. The heavy importation of food tells us that we don't have a health policy.
well, honestly, then call me just come, right? As far as you ask as policy right now, I literally can't speak to that, right? But what I can tell you is what I teach and what I live, because I gotta have a personal health plan. I do have to have a personal health plan. And at 63, you know what I did September? I said I was gonna do 100 push-ups a day for September. I started with 4 sets of 25. By the time September finished, I was doing 2 sets of 50. I step into October doing 2 sets of 50. I am looking at taking care of this house because, Bilal, if I'm not taking care of it, then if my body isn't good enough, I won't be here. I want to make sure that I'm taking care of my health because this is the house, this is the
It's your
temple.
wealth.
And whatever I eat, whatever I drink, my thoughts affect this body. My thinking affects it too. So it's a holistic approach as you look at how do you live the life that you believe that you were supposed to live, because all of us were sent by the Creator, all of us. But then how am I living this life that I was supposed to live? I'm practicing what I'm teaching, and I'm teaching what I'm living. And I won't BS nobody because it's not easy. It's not easy, but you got to stick to the process. You got to stay focused. And the people that I've worked with, I mean, my clients that are coming to Belize, the clients that are in Belize, the mindset is different. The students, I don't know if I sent you the video with the
Yes.
students
ACC.
from ACC.
Awesome.
These are students that I was working with virtually for 2 years.
Very revealing.
When they sent that thank you to me, man, I was crying. They were like, "Thank you, Mr. Moody. We can't wait to, I know I'm there in person." It's a small group, but you know what? It's a group that is going to be different from the rest of the groups. And I wish that, I mean, I'm not here to be taking over anybody's job, but if I could use what I have to impact and we say one cocoa full basket. I was talking to a friend of mine who lives in San Diego area, and I was telling her, she's from Tangriga, man, I wish I could impact all the kids in the whole country.
And you talk about that thing taking away our jobs. I remember the first time I came to America, Chicago. I was working at a McDonald's, and I was working among predominantly African Americans, Black Americans. And I remember dressing to go to work in the dressing room, and this black guy looked right in my face, and he said, "You niggas coming over here taking away our jobs with the." I'm a black immigrant. And it was a wake-up call for me. And then the others jumped in and defended me. Leave little brother alone, man. And I tell him, but he was looking me straight in my eyes. And I say that to say today, here comes, no, we have a interesting kind of metamorphosis going on where Belizeans are coming back home and they're seeing this resentment, right? I'm not coming to take away your job, or just like what he told me, like y'all coming here to take away your jobs, right? And Trump with this whole thing about immigrants, right? Taking away the white Americans' jobs and taking away American jobs. So I'm going to mass deport, right? But we have a dynamic, a phenomenon when we Belizeans are coming home and they're complaining, or people are discriminating against us coming in. Talk about that because
I think again, humility has to be key. You gotta be humble coming into a situation. You've not been here. I know there are certain people when they think of the diaspora, oh no gone, I will never stay, we stay.
yeah.
Right? And there's going to be different reactions from different people. But I think once you come as a servant, because, and this is, I say, I'm the minister of transformation, and the minister is one who serves. Now, we have ministers, but they might not necessarily be serving. They might be serving themselves. My service, the thing that I have a
But you
passion.
also too, you gotta wait, stick a pin there, Win. You also gotta think. I before I even came home, I opened up a business. I was the pioneer in the money transfer business,
I remember.
and I was like, okay, I'm creating jobs, right? And here I am sitting at my office one day. I see a policeman coming on a bike to come get me. Said the governor of Central Bank wants to see you, my brother. So I'm like, okay. I'm 28 years old, very enterprising. I'm investing. I don't live there. I don't live back in my country, but I'm investing in a business. And the business is doing well, and I'm creating jobs. I have employees. And so when I get there, he sits, I'm not going to call his name. He's sitting around his big mahogany table. And he looked at me and he said to me, young man, why do you want with a job? What do you want with a business like this? This kind of business belongs to the banks. And I was like, are you looking at me? He's same color like me. And we are right. He's trying to tell me. I remember I went for a concession. And the prime minister at the time, he didn't even look at me. He said, why do you think you deserve a concession? And I'm like, whoa, right? Do we want to progress? Do we want to develop as a nation? You give all the rich white Americans concessions and tax breaks. And here you have an enterprising Belizean creating jobs and currency exchange. With the governor of Central Bank, I got my license. He says, well, you don't have a license here. I have one in California, but I'm just saying that we don't treat one another well. Even if we're not, no matter what we're doing, there's this thing about you're supposed to do that. That belongs to somebody else. You can't get that. You don't deserve that. That is for that. Right?
This is why
we gotta change that.
Even as I think about the people I'm working with in Belize, Bilal, the young people and the entrepreneurs in Belize, my dream is to see their dream realized. That's what I'm doing. I want to see you win. That's what a coach does. If you're the athlete and I'm the coach, when you win, I win. I'm not about not wanting you to win. I'm about you winning. And if you win, I win.
Yes.
So, and I mean, I'm doing what
you have coached centers of power. You don't have to call it in, but you have coached them. Talk about what you tell our ministers that you are a life coach and a dream builder for. You have done it from here before you even went back home to Belize.
Listen, I do the same thing.
How do you talk to them in terms of raising them to a higher level in terms of diaspora Belizeans?
Well, again, it's a process, right?
Not necessarily that, but how do you?
It's a process, and it's the same principle I said. Everything begins with a thought. You got to acknowledge where you are, and you got to know where you want to go. And that works whether it's for a minister or it works for an entrepreneur. You got to know where you are, and you have to set your vision on where you want to go.
But do you take the problems that you see in the society and do you incorporate them into your coaching in terms of or even students? Because you have to coach to the problem.
Right.
You can't just ignore those problems.
No, you see, the problems that we face are real, right? But I say, and I remember this from General Artis when I worked with him at the prison. General Artis would say this. He said, he was the chief of the team, right? He said, when you come to me with a problem, don't just come and give me the problem, give me at least 3 or 4 solutions. Because I'm not here just to take the problem.
A lot of sense.
I mean, and think about it. If you're a manager and your staff is bringing a problem to you, you're not supposed to give them the solutions. They should come with at least several solutions, and then now you manage and you say, okay, we're going to do this one. But whatever you focus on, Bilal, is going to be magnified.
Yeah.
And we could be focusing on all the problems, and that's what happens. We're focusing on all of, let's look at how can we solve that
The
problem?
solutions. And that's what I'm saying in that.
How can we
How
solve
do
that
we,
problem?
yeah.
Because let's say, for example, today, I can tell you today, I know there are more young people in Belize that are doing what they're supposed to do than the ones that are not. I was at a conference years ago at Biltmore, and the speaker said something that is profound. He said, the young people are like airplanes. Every day, they're more successful flight than casualties, but the only ones that make the headlines are the casualties. There are many young people. You know, I met a young man since I got back. He's from the village, and he was a Fort farmer. And he said to me, he said, sir, I would get up in the morning early to go to ACC. After ACC, I would go to work. First, I was working at Publix for a while, then I was working at Brody's. At 8 o'clock, I had to take the bus to go back home. And then when I got home, what helped me was because I had group study and my friends would help. He finished high school, and now he got a scholarship at UB, but he has to deal with the basic stuff in life. His family is not wealthy. That bus fare is not in the scholarship. And he's one of many young people. My dream as I grow is not necessarily to put my money in any bank or in any credit union. My dream is to invest in the young people, because when it comes to the system like you're talking about, the system would want to keep us in poverty. And I'm not about just giving a person a fish.
Right.
I'm about teaching someone how to
Teaching that person
fish.
to fish, yes.
And if you ask the young people that I'm
Not a
working
crutch.
with right now, I told them just this past semester since I started working with them, there are 3 ways, Bilal, that we can acquire wealth: entrepreneurship, investments, and real estate. And I told the kids, I said, as soon as you reach 18, go ask you a piece of land.
Yeah.
Again, I'm doing a project right now, and this is what I did, and this is current. I told the students, the third and fourth farmers that I'm dealing with, I gave each of them some money, and I said, okay, after a month, give me back my money that I gave you. Go do something. And the principal and the vice principal, they allow them to come up with creative ideas as how they can do some little entrepreneurial stuff on this campus, right? And again, I sat with them as they were brainstorming what they wanted to do with the money that they were going to get. I'm going to get back my money, but I'm taking them to a place where they are thinking differently. And this is one of the things why I'm doing what I'm doing on the different media platform, because I want those students to be at the summit. I mean, they need, I want people to say, you know what, let me pay for one of them to go to the summit, because it has a cost. They're on the scholarship right now. They're not paying even the school fees. So there's an appeal. Yes, I'm doing what I'm doing, but it has a cost. I've never asked for a penny since I've started working with these kids for the last 2 years. I get up in the rain from Bamapan and I go down now Tuesdays and Thursdays. Honestly, I say if I'm not willing to die for it, I don't need to live for it.
Yeah.
And even before I came back to Belize, folks are like, why are you going back to Belize? Suppose I kill you. Why are you going back to Belize? Belize are like this and Belize are like that. Listen, I came back and I realized, like anybody, there are 2 things you need in Belize, right? A vehicle, air condition. I don't have a vehicle right now. I get on the bus, I walk, and I mean, it's coming.
Go like Glenn Brooks, so walk everywhere you go.
Glenn Brooks there. I tell him to come back and work. He say, give me assistant.
But we're about to wrap up, and I want to give you the last few words in terms of wrap. We are coming to the end of the show, and amazing conversation today, because I was able to dig deep into your purpose, this skill that you were blessed with, that God sent you here to do, in terms of empowering your people. You have done an amazing job in the United States where you lived for a while as a Belizean in the diaspora. Now you are home making a difference again. You're a problem solver, like you just said. Yeah, I'm coming with a lot of problems to you, and you're like, Bilal, we have to find solutions to problems. We know they're there. And my brother, I really appreciate you for that, for saying that, because we could sit here and talk about all the problems and we don't have solutions. But you are a problem solver, a life coach, and a dream builder, right? Um, what are your final words, or what is it that you want to leave with our Belizeans abroad and our Belizeans at home? Know that you have taken this journey, right?
There are two things I would want to say, Bilal, right? Is that um, if you really want to see wealth, you provide solution for problems. And there are a lot of problems. So then you think of solution for the problems because that's what people want. If transportation is a problem, then you provide the transportation that is going to solve the problem for people. People are going to pay for the solutions. They're not going to pay for the problems. So the more problems there are, you can think from a point of view that how can I be the solution for that problem? And if you're the solution for that problem, that's where you're going to market yourself. Now, honestly, as a Belizean back home, like I said, this is my last quarter. I'm 63. There are more years behind me than in front of me. I say I want to be here for 120. But as long as I'm in Belize, I am a son of this nation. And whether from the top to the bottom, anybody believe that, man, I would love to have you to serve in whatever capacity. And one of the things that I was talking to a young brother who's here living in Belize, and he said to me, he said, Wayne, he said, man, I'm a professional here. He said, but you know how this system works? And this is right across the board, government, non-government. People would want to come and ask you to just do something and, oh, just do it for free. And people are willing to pay for a
Yes,
consultant
yes.
to come from abroad, pay them, treat them with,
Mhm.
high esteem,
Yeah.
coming back as a Belizean, oh, you're supposed to just come and just volunteer yourself. If you don't need to get a consultant to come and tell you what I can give to you, and you don't want to give me what you would give to a consultant, then it shows how you're thinking. I'm not saying that
Right.
you got to be paying me because I'm working with some people now where I'm not even asking them for a penny. But again, I'm here to serve, I'm here to empower, I'm here to transform. And I want to say that the work that I'm doing with the people that I've worked with, it's a domino effect. Because I was telling you earlier, the Saturday of the summit, there's going to be signing of contracts for young people who've actually now going to get a break to work on a cruise ship. The Sunday evening in Hopkins, one of my clients in New York, she's a Belizean and she always wanted to design. And now she's retired and now she's creating fashion. We're going to have a fashion show in Hopkins Bay. There's an art exhibition that coincides with the whole Dream Builders because they're Dream Builders that are artists. I have a friend in California. We're looking at how we can make connections for Belizean artists and their art to say be in Ontario, California. So there's a lot of pieces that are moving. And all I'm saying, I'm not asking for your permission, but I'm asking for your blessing.
Yeah. Beautiful.
And if
And with
you
that,
curse, it's going to come back to you. So if you don't want to bless, just keep your mouth shut.
yeah, yeah. And with that, boy Win, we're gonna call
Thanks.
it a wrap. And we so much appreciate the conversation. Knowledge is power. You have departed a lot of knowledge to us today. Empowering of people and a human being is a skill, and solving problems is a skill. Not everybody solve problems. They fire you when you can't solve problems on jobs, right? You come in with the masters and the PhD, but you can't solve that problem. You go- And so we appreciate you and what you bring to Belize, bring back home to Belize. Not to come in there to be a liability, but you're coming in there to be an asset. And I think that's the whole aspect of the Belizean diaspora. Those who are coming home, they are not a liability, but they are an asset. But we have to understand and see that. If we government and people can see that, then we are not going to develop as a people, as a nation. That and I want to again thank you for coming in and joining us for a second time, Wayne Moody. And we are so happy to see you back home and making a difference. And you are an example and an encouragement for those who want to take that journey and that step to repatriate, to come home and to get on the ground and to put you in the problems and be problem solvers, help developing Belize. And again, I want to say this is an XTV production. I'm Bilal Morris, our host for today, and our hostess, our lady ARIA LIGHTFOOT, will join us next week. She had a grueling trip coming in from the Caribbean. She's jet logged, and so she was not able to join us today. And again, I want to say to Belizeans who are watching this show in the United States, in the United Kingdom, Belizeans in the Caribbean, Africa, wherever you live, we hope that you enjoyed today's show and that we have departed some kind of information and knowledge to you. And again, our producer is Nur Muhammad, and the man behind the controls who make this all happen, Harlan, and our brother. And we want to again thank Wayne Moody, the Belizean life coach and dream builder, for joining us today. Thank you again for watching.
I am a true born Belizean. Belize my home, my native land. I want you people to understand. I am proud to be a Belizean.